All right. So, like I said, my name is Samuel. Yeah. I work as the commercial manager for one of the supply chain companies in the UK.
Okay.
We support the mining industry.
Okay.
So it's got to do with capital intensive parts and all that.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't do the mining itself, but we support with the parts that goes with the machines.
All
Yeah.
right.
I have experience of procurement and supply chain for the last 20 years. Yes, I've got an MSc in the global supply chain and logistics. And I've also got an MBA in procurement and strategy.
Okay.
Yeah, so that together with the industry experience gives us a little understanding of what the subject looks like. So
Definitely.
I will just bring my experience on board, then you can also share yours. At this level, at the postgraduate level, it's more of how you'll be able to apply the principles to in your workplaces, yeah, to show your understanding of what you are currently doing and how you can use the knowledge that we are being exposed to at least get things in shape. So basically, that is what. So it's at this level, we come from the perception that you have all the basic ones at your undergraduate and your professional one. So we'll just refresh and give the tools that will bring you to the strategic level for you to perform.
Okay.
So this model, like we said, is a postgraduate unit 7. So it's a postgraduate one. It's about 20 credits, and it's not optional. It's definitely needed for you to pass the whole course. And it's not like the other models where you have pass, merit, and distinction. This one has 2 options here. So you either pass or you either fail. So we have to try and get the pass, which I'm sure we'll be able to do that. The aim of the unit, obviously, the aim of the unit is to provide learners with. I'm trying to go through the learning outcome, and we'll touch briefly on the assignment brief also.
Okay.
We'll look at the assignment brief in detail at the end of the lessons.
Okay.
Yeah, when we finish all the learning outcomes. So this unit is to provide us with an understanding of procurement and supply chain management from a strategic. So that is the difference. So it's not just procurement and supply chain, but from a strategic perspective. Yeah, so technological and the processes and also the relationships that goes in. Yeah, so the aim is to provide understanding of the role of procurement and supply chain and the tools and techniques that are used, to be able to get value out of that. So issues like negotiation and contracts and all that will be coming up. Supplier management and relationship, and obviously the technology dimension. Yeah, so these are the areas that we'll be looking at on this particular model. So there are 4 learning outcomes that we have to go through. Yeah, the first one is for us to understand the context of procurement and supply chain management. Yeah, so when we talk about the context, we are talking about the setting within which we find ourselves and how it will be. So we will analyze the different sources of value creation or addition in procurement. We'll also be explaining the various sourcing processes. we would analyze the impact of organizational policies and the procedures that impacts on procurement. Then we'll compare the different structures of procurement functions. So that is the first learning outcome. Then we will also look at the tools and the techniques that are used for procurement and the supply chain. So we'll try to look at the cost and price estimates in this exercise. We will also try to look at the processes that we use in, maybe, for instance, putting your request for information, quotation out there to request for prices and all that. So we will look at those processes. We will also look at how to select suppliers and eventually award contracts to them, and also the role of technology. So that is the second learning outcome, the tools. Then we also want to look at contracts agreements. So eventually when you get your quotes and you want to award, how do you award it? What sort of terms and conditions are supposed to be in there? So these are very important. So you explain the various types of contractual agreement between the customer and the suppliers, compare the approaches that can be pursued in commercial negotiations, evaluate the methods that influence the achievement of desired outcomes. And finally, we'll be looking at how to manage the dynamics, the relationship between customers and suppliers. So that is extremely important. So we'll apply the portfolio analysis. So there will be a few frameworks that will be coming across. A few models that will be coming across. That will be tools that can be used to look at this. Then we'll explain the issue of conflicts. Obviously, every relationship there will be conflict here and there. How do you manage it? So that is something that was another dimension. We'll look at it. And we also look at how to just keep the supply in the place where you can manage them. So this will be the learning outcomes. Then the assignment is one. It's one. It's going to be in two parts. So it's a scenario that you've been employed as the COO, which is the Chief Operating Officer for a company, Export UK Limited. And it's a pharmaceutical company, or you can choose any organization that you want. You can even use the organization that you are in. So apart from their domestic market, they are looking at going global. So they want to expand. They want to break frontiers into other places. And they picked the Middle East and the Far East. That these are the places we want to reach now. So being the Chief Operating Officer, you've been tasked with the revamping or re-engineering of the whole supply chain to find alternative providers, because now you will need more supply avenues. So you will need more. So you've been tasked to find more providers. So you have a team of 10 employees. So you have people working under you who will do the groundwork. And now the taxes, you are tasked with providing them with a briefing, with a write-up, so that they are ready to negotiate with potential suppliers to secure favorable deals for the company. So what are some of the principles, the procedures, and what are some of the recommendations you want to make for them to understand when they are approaching the suppliers, to be able to. So you want to give them the tools that they'll be able to use to be able to do that. And for that, like I said, it's going to be broken into. And if you follow carefully the learning outcome, you see that it is just the learning outcomes that we have here.
Yeah.
So at one covers learning outcome 1 to a large extent. Yeah. So your briefing will be in an essay format and will consist of the following parts. So you analyze the different sources of value addition in procurement, which we will cover, explain the main aspects of sourcing processes based on your organization, analyze the impact of organizational policies and procedures. So all this will be done. In the second part, you look at the contracts, and then you also look at relationships and all that. So you would put it all together as one write-up, and it's supposed to be a file for 4,500 words, excluding table of contents, diagrams, and references with any appendices that you have. Yeah. We will share a sample of the of it at the end when we are doing the write-up for you to have an idea what how you will present it. Yes. We would take time to let you know. But obviously, start with an introduction, a very good introduction. Then you carry on with all the other parts of the essay. So yes, I will pause here and just ask if you can, tell me a little bit about yourself also.
Okay, my name is Godfred Bapiwideri. I'm from Ghana.
Okay.
Yes, I hold a bachelor's degree in business management from the University of Cape Coast in Ghana.
Okay, UCC.
Yeah, UCC.
Okay.
And I came to the UK in last year, 2023.
Yeah.
Yes, and then for now, I'm in the security industry for now.
Okay.
Yes, and I decided to take up this course with the aim or the mindset of having a career change going forward in the future. Yes, so and this is where we are today.
Oh, that's fine. So you don't have a procurement background. You don't have a procurement supply chain background.
No, I have a business management.
Business management. Yeah. But as we go along, you will realize that they've got the same basic principles.
Yeah.
And most of these supply chain departments are now, most companies are putting them under finance.
That is true.
Because they believe that if it goes hand in hand with this financial management, obviously they will be able to manage the costs and the spend very well.
Definitely.
Yeah, and
when it very important.
That's right. When it comes to customer relations and supplier relations, it's all basically management content. Yeah, so I don't think it's going to be too foreign.
No.
Yeah, it's quite an interesting area to study, procurement and supply chain. Yeah, some people are motivated. They think that there's money. Oh yes, yeah, but I think it's more of
it goes
the
beyond
satisfaction.
money.
Yes, of that. Okay, so today we'll just run through the learning outcome 1.
Okay.
Yeah, and like I said, we are trying to see if we can understand the context of procurement and supply chain, management. Yeah, so that is what we're going to go through briefly. So the learning outcome has given you a fair idea, but the indicative content will give you a bit more for you to know that, okay, you can go a little further and look at a few areas that you will read that will sort of try to put a lot of content into whatever you are going to present at the end of the course. So we'll be looking at the importance of procurement to organizations. What is the role to organizations? Then the changing role of procurement. Procurement has evolved over the years. So where are we now? The integration Yeah. Procurement, the purchasing decisions. So look at the two terminologies. We got procurement and we have purchasing.
Yes.
Yeah. So you go to places there, purchasing and supply chain, and we are introducing another word, procurement. So they are quite different. We'll look at that. So purchasing decisions and business strategy and procurement strategy. Yeah, we'll also be looking at what is centralized and decentralized purchasing. Yeah. We also look at key sourcing elements. Yeah, the purchasing organization, then overview of purchasing related differences across the context. So tell me, if somebody asks you, what is purchasing or what is procurement? I don't know whether you've come across it before.
Yes,
What would you say? Yeah.
Basically, I would say procurement is a whole process of buying goods and services from when the needs of an organization, from realizing the needs of an organization to when these needs are delivered.
Okay.
Yes, that's what it is. It's a process, and it starts with, first of all, identifying the needs of the organization.
Okay.
Yeah, through to the point where the needs of the organization are delivered. So the needs could be either goods or services.
Mm.
Yes, that's my fair idea.
Okay. And if we ask what's the difference between procurement and purchasing, what do you?
Purchasing, I would say we could look at it like a subset of procurement. It's like
Okay.
procurement is the overall process, and then purchasing is just an element of procurement.
Just an element of procurement.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's my idea.
Mm. Would you have any idea another word for purchasing?
Buying.
Buying. Okay. So let's start from there.
Okay.
We're going to start from there. So, like we said, purchasing is just buying. Yeah, buying. You have the need, then you just approach a supplier, then you buy it, and that is it. So you purchased it, you bought it.
Yeah.
But like you said, procurement goes a step further, looks at it in another mirror. Yeah, okay. It's not only just buying, but what else can I look at? When I went out there, I didn't even negotiate. Can I negotiate this time? Yeah. Can I also use any economies of scale in terms of looking at bulk purchase and see whether that can provide some savings for me?
Okay.
Yeah. So I bought one and it was maybe £1. So if I buy 10, what is going to be the motivation of that for the supplier to maybe reduce? Yeah. Okay. When I went, I was told that the one that I bought, it is the only one left. So does it mean that sometimes this thing gets short? So if stock is going to go out at some point, then maybe I have to rethink of maybe having a relationship with the supplier to find out. So what are the intervals of the supply so that you can plan? So you go a bit further than just approaching a supplier to buy. But like I said, we would, So what is procurement? So like you've rightly said, it is a business management function. That ensures the identification, sourcing, and access and management of the external resources that an organization needs or may need to fulfill its strategic objectives. So obviously there is a need. but you have to engage external to make sure you do that. So they exist to explore supply market opportunities, implement resourcing strategies that deliver the best possible supply outcomes to the organization. So it's stakeholders and customers. Yeah, so basically that is it. One of the difficulties in defining the procurement is that it does not deal with a single action, like you said, and like I've also explained, it covers a whole lot of things. Yeah. So basically that is it. Yeah. But if you look at the fourth point, it brings a few dimensions to it. So he's saying that it has got a dimension of pre-contract activities. So now you're planning. Now you identify the need, like you said. Then you analyze the need. Where do I get it from? What are the sources? So that is the initial, action that you take. And we call that the pre-contract activities. Then eventually, when you finally get to know where to buy it, you get into a contract with a supplier. And here you try to look at how you can manage the relationship. You can manage the delivery that is coming, and obviously deliver to your client. So like we said, it's a supply chain. So it's a chain. You buy, whatever, that you also either sell it on or use to manufacture your products. And you've got general activities like the governance, managing the whole process. Yeah, looking at the risk, having policies in place that will protect you. So that, for instance, if somebody is supplying something, there should be some clause to let them know that, okay, if it comes and it doesn't meet the specification that you quoted me, then maybe I have the right to reject. All these things are important for you to be looking at. So, like we said, the difference between procurement and purchasing is that one is strategic and the other one is just transactional. So it's a simple, I buy from you, but the other one is looking at it in depth. So it concentrates on the procurement process of a product or the service. For example, taking time to research and to negotiate, to plan. Purchasing will just look at how they can be bought. Raising purchase orders, and once the goods arrive, you pay the person and off he goes. Procurement looks at it. So procurement are separate, and purchasing are completely separate business processes. But they complement each other to a large extent. So like you said, procurement sits somewhere in the purchasing sits somewhere in the procurement process. So if you are looking at the two, this is more strategic, this is more transactional. Identify the needs. This one, instead of identifying the needs, sitting down to plan, they just receive the requisitions. So somebody needs it and they just receive it. Okay, so this is what you need. Okay, no problem. Then they go out, get the quotes, they evaluate the quotes, raise the purchase orders, they receive the goods into the warehouse, and they organize payment, and that is it. So that is purchasing, very transactional. But the strategic side will sit down and identify the needs, get the end user to plan well in advance what your needs are, so that they can have the full picture. And now they will sit down to analyze and find out the various source options that they have. Then they can now engage. So it goes beyond just the boundaries of even local. Sometimes it's completely national, sometimes it's international. So they negotiate and now they do contracts, and they also put something in place to manage the relationship between the suppliers. Then obviously the goal is for them to save cost and also to increase the bottom line, that is the profit. So, I mean, what is procurement is the same thing. It's something that you can read. Yeah. Goes and on. So this is a very simple framework. So you identify the need. Yeah, you find the suppliers, but in finding it, we use the word research. So you take your time to look around into the various options that you have before you settle on them. You create the supplier database you want to use, so that maybe for electricals, I'm going to use 5 suppliers, or this would be the preferred one. The in order of then you issue your request for quotations. Yeah, then you obviously, once the quotations come, you evaluate them. Yeah, then you try to negotiate. If you want any discounts or anything, you just do it. Then eventually you firm up your contracts or your purchase orders. You receive your products, you check the quality, then you also make sure that the key performance indicators that you have between yourself and the supplier is intact. No bleed here and there. Then you decide to build a relationship with the supplier who has given you what you want. So once a supplier passes the test for you, then you have to try to build a relationship that, okay, this supplier, I can trust the supplier. It's very reliable. He doesn't delay, his price is good and all that. So these are some of the things that you should be looking at. Yeah, these are the key performance indicators that you should keep. Like we said, purchasing is transactional, like we've mentioned. And that one, like we say, you receive your purchase requisition. What do you want? I need 2 bolts and nuts. Okay, that's fine. They will just go take a code, evaluate it. They will do the purchase order. They will receive it. They will just check the quality here and there. Then they will just pay. Yeah, that is it. So you see that procurement is one step. Yeah, or even a higher step. Yeah. Were you going to ask any questions?
No, it's fine. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what we are saying is that procurement sort of adds value, yeah, to the purchasing process, yeah, the buying process. Procurement takes it to another level where it can add value. And the value, even though we are saying it adds, the way it adds it is by reducing waste, and waste which is equivalent to the cost. Yeah. So if you are able to set up a system where you will not need a lot of buyers, it means that you're not going to pay a lot of employees. So that saves you the cost. So procurement will look at all that, yeah, to make sure that things are done properly. For instance, if you're going to buy something from overseas, yeah, as again something that you are buying locally. Why? When you buy overseas, it means that you are going to incur costs by shipping it, waiting for it to come and all that. But maybe it is cost effective to wait than to buy something locally, which is wrong. And eventually you have to go and buy from overseas. So the cost of the overseas is going to sit on the original cost that you already incurred. So now you've incurred 2 costs. So procurement looks at the ultimate goal of reducing cost. Yeah. So we are saying that effective ways of saving, supply innovations, new revenue, offloading balance sheet, which means that sometimes you realize that people have bought a lot of items sitting in the warehouse. Yeah, can these be reduced so that the stock on the balance sheet is sort of released? Barter system, which we know already. Sometimes you can decide that, okay, instead of using money to buy this, okay, we have this, we can give that in exchange of that. And a lot of international arrangements are there. China will decide that, okay, we're going to give oil in exchange of maybe something else. Yeah, so these are all strategic procurement stuff. So cooperation and all that. So we are saying that procurement can add value either by reducing the cost without any compromise to the key performance indicators like your quality and the product features, by assuring that efficiency is kept at no additional cost. So these are very, very important. So if you're able to understand procurement and manage it carefully, you'll be able to reduce a lot of costs across board. You'll be able to manage inventory. You'll be able to effectively negotiate contracts and put them in place. Then you'll be able to sharpen the communication skills and the communication that you have between yourself and the stakeholders. So we've got two stakeholders you are looking at here. You've got the internal stakeholders who are user department, those internally who uses the whatever you are buying. Then you also have the supplier that you engage. Yeah, so you need to be able to engage both. Yeah, so that at least internally you'll be able to get the specification correct before you go out. Yeah, and then when you go out, you're able to get things done. Yeah, selecting and managing suppliers in working with key supply chain partners. So if you're able to do a very good research, you realize that, oh, this particular item is produced by this company. This is the manufacturer. So after all, I don't have to be using a middleman. I can engage them directly because the middleman will buy and put their profit before they sell it to you. So you'll be able to at least find the right sources. And if you can create some partnerships with them, that would, save you a lot of costs. There's a term called lean. We'll look at that soon. So when it comes to supplier preference model, what do we mean by that? Supplier preference model. I don't know whether you've come across anything like this.
No.
Okay. So, like the word said, supplier preference model. Yeah. What does the supplier prefer? What sort of customers is he looking for? Yeah. Sometimes suppliers who are selling, the relationship that they have with customers, they have customers they don't like, and they have customers they like. Yeah. So what is the attractiveness of a customer to a supplier? And what is the value of the account to the supplier? And this is very, very important. So the suppliers sit down and they think that when you are quiet, you don't value so much to them. And your attractiveness is also low. Yeah, in terms of how much you buy and how you buy. It's not interesting. So when you approach them, they think that you are just a disturbance, you are a nuisance, you are just disturbing them. Yeah. And when they also realize that you are valuable to them, very valuable to them, but in terms of attractiveness, you are low. What is going to happen is that they are going to use their buying power to exploit you. Yeah. And they realize that, okay, we need them. Yeah, but obviously we should just tell them that because you are buying very little, we cannot give you this price. We'll do that, we'll do this. So they will just exploit you. Yeah. And sometimes you also see that they are now trying to develop relationships with you and all that. Yeah, so it's not a major one. But the one that everyone prefers is the very attractive and valuable. So you become core because they realize that, okay, for the product that we do, this particular customer can buy up to 70% for their operations. So because they are buying 70%, they should be a partner to us because we can sell a lot through them. So sometimes they will rather come to you and tell you that we want to, see if we can give you very good payment terms, or we can give you some discounts. Yeah, if you are interested in. I don't know whether you understand.
Yes, I
from.
Yes.
Yeah.
It will mean that any or a potential customer will be a core customer to the supplier if the potential customer is valuable and has high attractiveness.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So if you are valuable and you have high attractiveness means that you patronize a lot of their products. Yes, and you've got the potential to sell a lot to them, for them. Yeah, your business can open a lot of doors for them, so you become very key to them. Yeah, but if you buy just a little and all that, it's not interesting. Yeah, it's not interesting to them at all. I think it's the same one here. So when it comes to in terms of attractiveness and unattractiveness, we are saying that, I mean, is the customer quite arrogant? I mean, they are bureaucratic. It takes too long for them to conclude things, unreasonable, demanding, and changing delivery schedules, and they are late payers. Their terms and conditions are not consistent. It takes their payment terms are long. Instead of everybody's giving you 30 days, they want to do 90 days. Short-term contracts, instead of giving me a whole year, they are saying that, okay, we'll just do it for 3 months. But somebody wants to give me a whole year, that gives me stability. Yeah, and rebuild, always going to the market to buy the same thing again. So why don't you firm it up with us? Because we are the ones. Why are you always trying to, inability to make decisions? But the ones that are attractive are people who have got the technology. They've got the right set of tools, the software. It's easy for you to engage them. Yeah, some of them can even get you to link up with their software so that you can have visibility of whatever they are doing. Yeah, so they are always investing in some of these things. So these are the people you need. Yeah, they have association, they have the relationship. They've got very good demand patterns. You see that they've got forecasts. Yeah, that okay, for the whole year, we're going to need 200 pieces of this. So it gives you a fair idea what you are dealing with. Their behavior is good. They are sound financially. They've got very good relationship, public relations. They buy in volumes, not in bits and pieces. Yeah, they'll give you long contracts, like I said, very long contracts. And obviously, you see them as an organization that when you associate with them, it brings you some kind of elevation because they are prestigious. And their staff are professional. Everything they do is very professional. So these are the difference between the attractiveness and the non-attractiveness. So whoever is attractive becomes core. Whoever is not attractive becomes a nuisance, or you try to develop it. Then we also have what we call the supplier position. Yeah, supplier position, which also looks at the supplier looking at the risk and the opportunities, for the customers that they deal with. Yeah, so I'll put something here. So organizations will rank these suppliers based on the money spent with them. You see, and the level to which, if that supplier is not there, what impact is it going to have on my operations? if they fail to deliver, what is going to be the impact? Yeah, so you look at that. That informs your decision. Yeah.
Okay, so
yeah.
So what this means, so this model is what the buyer looks at to assess the supplier, right?
That's it.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So when I'm looking at how I can get my supplies in, what kind of supplier am I supposed to engage? Yeah. And we are looking at the risk, vulnerability, and exposure. Yeah. And also the cost is high. So if the cost is high and if the item has got a huge risk in terms of when you don't have it available, then you see that it's critical. It's a critical item. So when you come into procurement, we have the categorization or the classification. There's some of them, they say the inventory A, B, C. So they will normally tell you that A are the critical ones. If they are not there, the plant or the machine goes down and all that. But there are some of them that are just ordinary ones. So you don't. But in terms of deciding the supplier to engage, you have to look at how much am I spending with the supplier. Yeah, so it looks like every year I spend about 50% of my budget with them because without them, my plant will not work. So if that is it, then they should become a strategic partner to us. Yeah. So on the back of that, there is this model from our friend Kralik. Yeah, and this is looking at whether the items, now you want to categorize the items so that you can decide on your supplier. Yeah, so if the item, the supplier risk is low and the impact on our profit is also low, then they are just ordinary items. Yeah, so they are non-critical items. So as for that one, you don't have a lot of issues with it. Yeah, you can just take any supplier who is regular, yeah, to be able to keep that for you. Then you also realize that there are some of them that the risk is high. The risk is high, but the profit is low. Yeah. So even though the risk is high, the profit is low. So I mean, even if I do all that I do, it's just a little profit that I get out of this. But you can risk it also. So we are saying it's a bottleneck. Yeah. So you can do without it, but it doesn't give you a lot of profit. So it's a bottleneck. Yeah. Then when you realize that, okay, the profit is high, then the risk is low. Then what you have to do is that, okay, the profit is high and the risk is low, but the supplier doesn't know that. Yeah, so you tell them that, okay, yeah, I want to buy this. It's up to you if you want to give it to me or not. So this is where the purchasing power comes in. So we are saying that you exploit them. Yeah, because they want to sell. And then because you know that if you don't have it, it's not going to change a lot for you because it's not a risk. Yeah, so as for that one, you can negotiate further. So it increases the power of the purchasing unit to exploit the supplier on that. Then you realize that there are categories of items that are got a high risk and they've got a high profit. So this one, you can't just risk it. Yeah, you can't risk it. So what you have to do is to come to a compromise. You keep a balance with the supplier, or you try to find alternatives. Yeah, because if you don't find alternatives, once the supplier source is gone or they fail, you are in trouble. So you always have to find alternatives, or you keep a balance. You have an agreement with them, or if your buying power is a lot, then you can use it to exploit them. You can just use it to say that, see, I do 60% of your product. So definitely I need this price. So along those lines. Yeah, so you can, yeah, look at that. I think it's the same one. Yeah, the same one. It's the same one. Sorry about that. Yeah, so here we're talking about your relationship with the supply department and your relationship with the sales department. Talking about relationships, when we are looking at procurement. Supplier departments, yeah, will be those who are giving you the requisitions to be able to buy. So they are your internal stakeholders or your internal customers. Yeah, so you work with them so that you can get the right specification done, so that when you are going out, you have all the needed information that you need. Then obviously your sales department are those who sell. You have to make sure that they always have stock to sell. So you don't want them to come back from the road and there is no stock. Well, I've got an order for 13 pieces of this and there is no stock. So the relationship between the two units is very, very important. The internal stakeholders and also those who are customer facing as well. Are you clear up to this stage?
Yes, sir.
We can carry on?
Yes.
Okay. So this is a simple process of sourcing, which we've already mentioned. Is the same. Where do you start from? You start from identifying the need, and then you put it in the form of a requisition. Then they review the request, whether it's got everything that is needed. Then you approach your, what is the name? The supplier. Yeah. Then the quotations, the budget is approved, your goods is received. Then you do, this is purely accounts. Yeah, they try to see whether the purchase order, the invoice, and maybe the delivery notes. So the three documents are the same, the quantities are the same, the price are the same, everything. Then they are good to go and make the payment. Yeah, so we are saying that involves several elements, research here, value analysis, raising the requisition, review the codes, convert them into purchase orders. You look at the contract, you monitor the order that is received, then the accounts will follow. Yeah, to get it paid. You know, so then the cycle is the same. Yeah. So you start from here, your need, and it goes all the way until it's delivered. So it's something that you can also look into that as well. The traditional supply, which we've said, is you identify your goods and you just approach somebody, then you do it. So if you want, for instance, they are saying sources used to manufacture, designed by manufacturers of this are optimized by focusing on the economic of scale, derived by maximizing the output of physical material. So you make sure that all the raw materials are available. That is the traditional, supply concept. Yeah, so we will have to produce this. Let's get everything in store, ready, so that we don't run out of stock. But procurement and it's coming up with concepts such like lean. So lean is looking at taking waste, out of the system. So lean means that narrow, small.
Yeah.
So instead of keeping a big stock, what can we do to just do
the ones that we need immediately?
That's right. That's right. So that is where concepts like just in time and just in case are all sitting. So that is the lean. Yeah. So you've got the what is the name? You specify the value of it. identify all the steps across the value chain, what is creating value, and remove the ones that are duplicates and the ones that are not necessary. Yeah, so you try to get a smooth flow and eliminate waste. Then eventually you just get them what they want. Yeah, even though they didn't have to go through all that, you're able to get what they want. And we also, in addition to the lean, making it very small in terms of waste, reducing the waste. We also have what we call the agile. So the agile is putting a bit of speed. Yeah, agile means a bit of speed. So how you can respond quickly to the supply requirements. Yeah, to the supply chain network. So how can you reduce the cycle, that if somebody needs something, how quickly can you get it? So if I can get it quickly, then it means I don't even have to keep stock. Yeah, because I can get it within the shortest possible time. So with that, you have things like vendor management inventory, where you are able to negotiate for the supplier to come and sit on your site, so that when you need something, you don't have to travel kilometers. They are on site, they will deliver. Then at the end of the month, you pay them. So this is bringing speed. So the two of them go hand in hand, and they are very effective. So you try to reduce the waste and you try to put speed in the system, and that really helps. Then obviously, on the back of all this, you would have to try and put them in a form that is going to work. And the form that you put it is trying to put policies in place. Okay, so what sort of policies am I going to put in place? Okay, so if I need something, what are some of the standards that I want to set? Yeah, so I want my supplier to deliver to the particular standard. If I'm looking for something, I will go out for 3 suppliers so that I will see if I'm getting the best price than just to go to one supplier. So if I do 3 suppliers, I can get a better picture of how the price and the quality looks like. So policies are important. Then apart from the policies, you look at procedures. So we are saying that procedures define how the policies are implemented. Yeah, so you have your policies in place, but how do you implement it? That is where the procedures come in. So like we said, for example, we set procedures in place to be developed to implement something like competitive bidding policy. Yeah, so that everything that I'm buying, I'll make sure that at least I'll get more than one supplier in it. Then I can check whether I'm getting value for money. So you can create a long list. You create the requisitions, you develop the RFQ, you do the analysis, you respond to questions, you evaluate, then you select and order. So these are procedures that you have to put in place to make sure that you are getting the policies. Then, like we said, there are various structures that we have. We either have the centralized or the non-centralized. So the centralized means that if there's a company who has got about 5, 6 branches, what they can decide is that, okay, we are putting all our procurement requirements together. So site A, site B, site C, site D, because you are all buying the same things. Let's consolidate it. And we're going to buy it for the group and distribute it. So at the beginning of the year, you bring your requirements and then we put them all together. And because it's big, we'll be able to negotiate good prices with suppliers. And when we get it, we can distribute it. So that is what's centralized. So they get the procurement team sitting in the head office, and they will manage the procurement activities. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, whether I want to centralize or not, what the evolution of that. So like I said, there's the corporate one, and they look after all the various regions. So that is the centralized, and it's able to make sure that quality and everything, they don't compromise any of these things. They make sure that they are keeping all that is required here. So factors that you consider when you are doing this. Obviously, very important too. You need a very good technology to be able to do that. To be able to sit in the middle and work on all that. So centralized, it goes on. Then there are challenges, obviously. Like I said, there are a lot of challenges that you would come across when you are doing centralized. It means that you have to make sure that people understand their requirements. You'll be able to get them on time. You'll be able to know that, okay, there are sites that have got different, even though they are same requirements, sometimes because of where they are situated, things might be slightly different. So all these are challenges that you have to look at when you are looking at that. Then we have the decentralized one, which is localized. So now all the various units are going to do their own buying. That is also, it's got its own advantages and disadvantages, which we can look at that. The advantage is very fast because they don't have to wait for head office to do this and all that. They are able to do it quickly. However, there's a lot of disadvantages, because duplication of effort. We are all buying the same thing. So why are we getting people all in different sites? It's money. We could just get rid of them. So that is it. So this brings us to what we want to look at today. So today we've tried to look at the concept of procurement. What is it? And supply chain. We've established what it is. We've seen that it's more strategic compared with the purchasing. The need for us to be able to understand that it involves a lot of processes. It's not just buying, but it's more of engaging so many different aspects of the relationship with your suppliers. We've looked at certain models like the supplier preference. We've also looked at the supplier model, positioning model, where you want to select the right suppliers. We've also looked at the centralized and the decentralized procurement. As we've also looked at the purchasing and obviously the procurement. So that is where we will end today. There are a few additional notes that you can be looking at later, which will help you, but I will share that with you. So additional notes comparing the various structures of that. And it's very good reading here. What is the structure of the procurement process, decision making, and a very good what is the name article here that you can read also. What is outsourcing? The push and pull. So these are all very, very important information that you can read in addition to the basic one that we've sort of tried to cover. So tomorrow we will carry on with the learning outcome 2.
Tomorrow.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. But I only had the Zoom thing for today. So if the Zoom link can be sent to me for tomorrow.
Okay, no problem at all. I'm sure that will be sorted.